So I'm done. Next chapter, next person.
Okay, next episode, we're ending this now. I'm kidding.
Village Kids.
Hello, welcome to Village Kids, a podcast hosted by four childhood best friends. My name is Erin.
I'm Annika.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Marga.
So, last episode, we talked about why we stopped talking, and it was pretty interesting to hear you guys explain yourselves as to why we all stopped calling each other. And I guess from then to now, in a good 10 years since, we've grown a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I can safely say that like I don't think I know you guys like as well as I think I do.
Mm.
Who
I think there's still some things we haven't talked about, like really talked about. What happened to you guys?
were you guys?
I feel
So,
like
okay.
I was definitely more outgoing.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I was such
Like
an
I think
extrovert.
I became a lot more mild.
Mm,
I think that's how I can like talk about it. I think it's because definitely when I was younger I had not the less security, but rather I felt like I didn't really know myself. So
mm,
I wanted to speed up that process. And a lot of things happen, a lot of stuff that maybe I don't want to mention here, but a lot of things have happened um, in my life. And it's crazy because I think a lot of those things happened when I wasn't necessarily talking to you guys. And they were like big, big things. Had it not happened to me, I don't think I'd be the same person because I feel like, um, you know, to just say it quickly, like losing people that you really love in your life, having to deal with certain circumstances, familial wise, or just going through personal growth. I feel like there were so many times, like over the last how many years, like in the last decade, so that I felt like I hit a wall. Like I felt like there were so many moments that I didn't know myself. Like I didn't know what
oh,
was happening in my life, and I didn't know where I was going. I
yeah.
had a whole
You're
different
making me cry.
I
I
had a
love you
whole different
so much.
direction, right? And
Yeah.
it was so crazy because I think there were moments that I was like literally looking for people. Yeah. So I definitely grew a lot over
Yeah.
those last years. And I'm so happy because it was so necessary. Like all of those moments were so necessary.
Yeah, like what they say, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. And I feel like also it's one of those things that if I wasn't like forced to go through it, um almost alone, not naman alone, but with people who weren't necessarily really, really there for me. It forced me to also strengthen other friendships, which I also really love right now. Some of my best friends, aside from you guys, came out of that. And that's what's great. Like I love you guys so much. And I was able to expand my circle, find really genuine friends. And I know what to look for because I had you guys.
Oh,
Like, because my standard was so high. So I guess it was really great. I've never been more grateful.
I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm really gonna cry now.
Yeah. So I'm done. Next chapter, next person.
Okay, next episode, we're ending this now. I'm kidding. But yeah, I think the same happened to me. Um, wrong choice of friends, wrong decisions. I was really, at one point, really lost. Like, at one point, I'd wake up and be like, wow, this is my life now. Like, what did I do? Like, I was so unhappy. I was so unhappy with myself. And the life I was living, like, my lifestyle was bad. I didn't have the right influence in my life. I mean, that was partly my fault too. But I was really lost. I'm talking about like college days, by the way. Um, it was just, it was a bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was good days also, but there was that one point where I lost myself in a relationship. Like, so when that ended, I didn't know what to do with myself. And I don't think oh, yeah, it was during that time also where I didn't have a good relationship with God. So that's when I really, like, I did not care for myself at all. Like, oh gosh, wait, that's so cringy thinking about it now, but like really, I was so lost and sad. I don't know why. Oh, okay. It was also that time where I didn't even talk to my bestest friend during that time. Like, she was worried. Even my sister, who I lived with in Manila, was so worried because I wouldn't go out of my room. Like, she'd call my mom and just tell her like, "Oh, I think you should talk to her because she hasn't been leaving her room." I think that was the time where I became an introvert. But it's not until recently where I feel like I've changed a lot. I think, yeah, it was like after college where I really worked on myself and found better friends and diverted my time with you guys again because Annika was visiting, and then we'd actually find time for each other, do the sleepovers and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why I never did. I ever mention this to you guys? I don't think
No.
yeah.
I feel like there was a time in 2018. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was during my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
And I think you were in your last year of college at that
Ah,
point, and I remember you opening
yeah,
up about this.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think I realized like now that you talk about it, like how much that was like a pinpoint in like your history at
Mm,
that point in time
yeah.
or
I wasn't
what you
talking
were
to
going through.
anyone. So, yeah. I didn't want to be a burden to anyone, so I guess I just kept it to myself at that time. The lost years should just be
Yeah.
lost for me. I don't ever want to I don't ever want to revisit that time.
No, I feel like it would have been good if we were there for each other during those
Yeah.
years.
Actually.
Yeah. It it kind of reminds me of how like there's bound to be someone in your circle who
Just going through the same
will
thing
want to
or
listen. Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, will empathize. Yeah.
What about you guys? What happened? Who were you?
Annika was a cheerleader.
That's true. She was.
Yeah.
Uh, she lived a
What
double
else?
life.
Yeah. Um so I guess for me like the definitive I can pinpoint to like back when I moved like who I was before that and after.
Mhm.
And honestly like there was no definitive like I'm going to be a different person kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um Margo was talking about how before the start of the last year she felt like she didn't really know like herself yet.
Mhm.
I feel like I was the opposite. Like I felt like that was not something that I really thought about much, but
Mhm.
I would just live day by day. Um like never really feeling uncertain about much until I moved. And um that's when you have to take a hard look when you're new. I guess Julia might understand this. Like, oh, you you're forced to be kind of more conscious about who re-examining
Who
who
you are?
you are
Yeah.
and
To
yeah,
reinvent
how you want to be
yourself.
perceived.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's different when you grow with people
Mhm.
like back home.
Mhm.
Like we just all knew each other and we evolved like side by side and like yeah, this is me. But then plucking yourself out of that and meeting a lot of people, parang it made me a lot like question myself more. Like,
Mhm.
who am I in relation to others? Who do I want to be?
Mhm.
And I got the chance to, I think, in high school, parang wear a bunch of different hats in a way. Like,
Mhm.
if there were personalities or characteristics from other people that I admired, like, sure, like, why not try that on with different
Yeah.
people?
Mhm.
Yeah, and parang just finding what fits.
Mhm.
And I think cheerleading, like we talked about that, like that is one hat that I tried to put on to see what, like, okay, there's this whole idea I have of this one thing. Like maybe in grade school, like cheer dancing was the equivalent of it. Like
Mm.
that's never something that I'd ever do. But okay, now I'm in a different place. Maybe like
Try
all
it
of
out.
these stereotypes that I had of it, yeah,
Mm.
like maybe it's time to deconstruct that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the last years were just full of like deconstructing ideas I had about myself and sort of realizing that no, I don't have it all figured out, but it's okay also to not have it
Mhm.
figured out. Um, in high school, I felt like so I tried the whole cheerleading thing and doing other things. I was in, I don't know if I told you guys, I was in a vocal jazz group.
What?
What?
Yeah, it was like an after school thing that I did to try
Wow.
to like reconnect with music or
Wow.
like
Yeah.
song spell back when I was in
Yeah.
nursery or back when I was in
Grade
grade school.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then sort of settling at the idea that no, my priority was doing well in school. Like that's what I liked, or
Mhm.
that's who I thought I was.
Mhm.
And then further deconstruction in college. All this time, you're thinking that you're like one thing, but
Mhm.
really, um, maybe you're also closing yourself off to other things that you're interested in and passionate about.
Mhm.
Parang I was boxing myself in, and yeah, so that's when I started exploring like other fields of interest, like whether that was in school or just like in everyday life. Yeah. So I guess that leads me to now, and I'm still constantly like always trying to fight the idea that I have to be one thing and
Yeah.
that you can have so many different interests. Yeah,
Still in
is
the
what I
works
came
of
to realize.
becoming.
Yeah. Yeah,
Episode
exactly.
5.
How about you, Air?
Oh, the last years for me was pretty fun. I felt like for me in those years, because like you guys know me from grade school, like I was quiet. Was I to you guys? Did I seem
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, I was pretty quiet and then very, very introverted. And I think it was in high school. The turning point might have been after second year high school. I went on this tour, like a study tour to Taiwan.
Mm.
And I was the only one who did not have a friend. No, no, not that's not true. I was the only one that came from Davao City. So
Oh,
like
okay.
I knew no one, and there were like almost 100 of us.
Wow.
I was the only one who came as like just one person from this place. So I
Mhm.
was forced to like, because I if I didn't do anything, I wouldn't have met, like I wouldn't have met the people that I met. I wouldn't have gotten close to them. So I feel like at that point, that was like the turning point. Like I had to step out of my comfort zone and reach out, try
Yeah.
to talk more. And like from then on, I think it's just been building, like me stepping out. Cause like, my best friend in high school, like I was so shy to the point that in the canteen, when I would have to buy rice, I'd tell my high school best friend Nicole, I'd be like, can you please ask her for some rice for me? Because I couldn't Like I couldn't physically be like, ate, isang,
Yeah,
I
that's
couldn't.
true.
I was like, can you please give this to her? And then like I couldn't even order for myself. Like that was how shy I was. And like just those years, high school to college, like going to Manila and also not having friends, like going into college, not having schoolmates.
Yeah.
In my entire college, like none of my schoolmates went with me there. So I also
What?
had to like, yeah, I was the only one from Ateneo de Davao. We went to UP College of Business Administration.
Wow.
So like
Okay.
the university has colleges.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in my college,
Gotcha.
I was the only one from Ateneo.
Ateneo.
So like even there, I also had to like step out like and be the one to initiate like conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like because of those turning points, like it got me to discover myself somehow because I got to talk to so many different kinds of people and just also like Annika, like wear so many different hats, like personality wise, and like figure out from there, like who am I comfortable being, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like in college, I also joined like a bunch of orgs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I probably joined like 8 or 9 orgs.
Wow. I
I
didn't
don't
join one
know.
org.
It was a time of like exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like yeah.
You
And
did cheerleading
eventually
too,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that sure.
No, I get shocked. We watched the cheer documentary, and then she could literally say what type of tosses those were, like
Wow.
what type of like stunts those were, and then she would like really dissect it. And I was like, "Oh, who is this girl right beside me?"
Who would have thought, right?
Who
Like
would
from
have
grade
thought? I was
school,
like,
Erin.
"Erin, is that you?" Yeah, so I think Erin also really surprised me as well. Um, much like all of you guys, actually. Yeah. No, but I think also I completely forgot, or maybe I just never noticed or knew because when I met you, I'd only see you. And when I saw you growing up, I'd only see you like in groups, or maybe it was because we already knew each other. It was smaller groups, or maybe because Annika was there. But I never really saw you for shy, like not
really?
like
actually me as well. Yeah.
maybe shy, but not that shy. Like maybe just like composed.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
responsible, composed, like put put together. I never thought of it as though you were shy. Like it never occurred to me, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Actually, same.
Same.
What's interesting about this conversation is I'm realizing that it kind of forces us to sort of label how we viewed ourselves before. I feel like in the last 10 years was when we started to become more self-aware of who we are and who we want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and
Who we don't want to be.
who we don't want to be. Yeah. Whereas when we were kids, I feel like that's what's so special about like us knowing each other before all the
Mm.
self-awareness
Yeah.
is that we didn't really view each other as like, oh no, you're the shy one, you're the like this or that. We we just saw each other as, friends, and for the
Yeah.
people that were at face value,
Mm-hmm.
no
Mhm.
analyzing or anything
Yeah.
required,
Yeah.
And there's something I think freeing about that is still present when we see each other in person every time, or even
Yeah.
talk now, that we are not like we aren't boxed into this idea of the person that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This
That is so
friendship wasn't
true.
based on judgment.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay, so definitely the last two episodes have just been, I think, a roller coaster ride. I definitely didn't know what I was getting on. But
We thought this would be light.
Yeah, I thought it was
right?
light, some fun. Oh, you did that, she did that type of thing. But
Yeah.
Me too.
yeah,
No
crazy.
more enumeration.
I guess there was really more to it. Like there was more to the years that we were apart. Of course, there's like different ways to see it. Like, um, would we have benefited from being around each other? Um, well, we don't know because like, well, that's what it was, the lost years. But what I can definitely say out of that is that I loved you guys before it. I love you guys now. I'm so happy of the people that you've and proud of the people you guys have become. And so yeah, I'm so happy we did this. And cheers to the lost years because that's how I got you guys back. So
Yes, actually. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was. I don't want to cry again.
all right, so we'll see you for the next episode. Um, definitely have a lot coming up for you guys, both on YouTube and podcast. So definitely subscribe, follow if you haven't, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
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 Bye.